Guys, it's Simmy, and this is Wrestling Unlimited as we are here on the 10th of December 2021 to talk about everything that went down tonight on Friday Night Smackdown. Let's raise up this camera a little bit if I can. I think I went the wrong way with it. No, we're good enough. On Friday Night Smackdown. That Smackdown wasn't a watchable show. I didn't think it was great or anything. Brock was really good on the show. His stuff with Sami Zayn and all that was good. But I'm not going to say the show was a missable show, but I just felt like it didn't really do much future building for me. It didn't really. Like, there was no Roman, so we got nothing really. What's the word I'm looking for? Nothing really with that, him and Brock. Yeah, we got some Brock stuff, but man, Xia Li thing. Okay, where's this going to lead to? Sonya's going to screw her because she's friends with Naomi? I don't know. But yeah, we'll see what all goes down with all this. But I thought SmackDown was an all right show. Nothing special. Main event was pretty good. But even at that, it wasn't anything like special or whatnot. I mean, they brought in Randy and Riddle because they didn't have Roman. I don't know why Roman wasn't on the show, but apparently Roman wasn't there at all. Last time I said Roman wasn't on the show, he was still there and worked a dark match. According to Ryan Satin, who is there live, Satin stated that the dark match is Charlotte versus Sasha versus Becky versus Bianca. That is the dark match that took place right after SmackDown. But with that, guys, I want to say thank you for joining me here. Twitch.tv/PWUnlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and Twitter.com/PWUnlimited. Remember, guys, if you are watching on Twitch, you can help us out a couple of different ways. You can help us out by hitting that donate button down below or by donating Twitch bits in the live chat. Also, remember, you can help us out by subscribing to the channel one of two different ways. You can subscribe either with a tiered subscription, just like Cold Cuts KC recently did for 11 months, or you can subscribe with Amazon Prime, because if you're already paying Big Daddy Jeff Bezos money for Amazon Prime, whether that's Prime Shipping or Prime Video, well, you also get Prime Gaming. You get one Prime Gaming account. You get a Prime Gaming account. All you got to do is take your Twitch Prime, your Amazon Prime, your Twitch, link them, bing, bang, boom. You got Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming gives you a bunch of cool things like free games. One of the free games this month is Need for Speed Hot Pursuit Remastered. You also get stuff for free for League of Legends, Valorant, Grand Theft Auto Online, and so much more. Plus, ladies and germs, you get one free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to subscribe to throughout the month. And I'd greatly appreciate it if you subscribed right here, Pro Wrestling Unlimited. But on the flip side, if you're watching over on YouTube, you can help us out with a super chat or a super sticker donation. Super chats are the best way to make sure your question does get read live on the air, because they are the most consistent way for me to make sure I get all of your messages. But also, don't forget to hit that join button down below and subscribe. Subscribing gets you a lot of free things, a lot of perks. Gets you early access to news, early access to non-news videos, early access to podcast episodes, and exclusive podcast episodes as well. But with that, let's talk about Friday Night Smackdown. As tonight's show, first thing we saw was unfortunately a graphic that said in memory of Jack Lanza. As we learned earlier this week, Black Jack Lanza had passed away. I think he was 86 years old. And Lanza, I mean, big WWE guy. More behind the scenes than in the ring. I think his contributions to wrestling were his behind the scenes work more than his in-ring work. Yeah, he was a good wrestler. The Black Jacks with Bobby the Brain Heenan was a big tag team back in the 70s and early 80s. But once he retired and then went to WWF and was working backstage as their lead producer and Austin's producer to boot. Well, that's, I think, where his legacy really does lie. I honestly do. Like back in the Attitude Era, there's an Austin match, and Austin, was going to work a match instead. He wanted Lanza. He wanted Jack as his producer, his agent. Always. Austin always went to Jack, from what I've always ever heard. because I heard some stories this week about Blackjack Lyons. I didn't know too much about him. I had known, the Blackjack stuff with him and Blackjack Mulligan and this and that. I had known that he worked behind the scenes in WWE as a top-ranking agent and whatnot, but I didn't know till this week, till I heard the stories of, like, Austin. That was Austin's go-to guy. Just like you have guys that, like, their go-to is Michael Hayes. He was like that back then, where guys were just like, I want Jack. I want to talk to Jack about my match. I want Jack to agent my match. And the biggest one was probably Stone Cold Steve Austin with Jack. But with that, the show opens up, a fun opening segment at that. Sami Zayn comes out with these two doctors. I guess they're doctors. I don't know. They could have been nurses. But he comes out in a wheelchair and a neck brace. They recap Brock Lesnar beating him down last week and then Roman Reigns defeating him to retain the Universal title. Zayn claimed to be one of the toughest guys in the entire company. Pointed out that it took both Lesnar and Reigns to beat him last week. He claimed that it was another conspiracy against him. Zayn admitted that he's not upset about the German suplexes or the beatdown. He felt that Lesnar betrayed him, and that hurts him more than anything. Zayn was furious and promised to sue Adam Pearce, Sonya Deville, the Timekeeper, Lesnar, Reigns, and even Paul Heyman when Paul Heyman would interrupt. Heyman interrupted and made his way down to the ring. Heyman mocked Zayn and started to introduce himself. Zayn noted that he wasn't done talking and complained that Heyman blocked the shot. Heyman ignored Zayn and started talking yet again. Zayn had heard enough and finally stood up. He got in Heyman's face and noted that Reigns isn't at the show tonight. The fans booed Reigns not being there at Smackdown in the Staples Center in old Los Angeles. Or as Stone Cold will call it, Los Angeles. That's he always says, Los Angeles. I don't know why. It's Los Angeles, but he's always called it Los Angeles. Like when you listen to a Stone Cold podcast, it's like, yeah, we were out there in Los Angeles. I'm like, oh, okay. Anyways. Heyman admitted, yes, Roman is not here. He's on a 1-week sabbatical training in the Isle of Samoa for Brock Lesnar at day 1. Zayn then yelled at Heyman and noted, oh, so that means there's nobody here to save you? Out comes Brock Lesnar and hold the phone. We got some shit to talk about here for a second. Brock Lesnar comes down to the ring like only Brock Lesnar can with that Brock Lesnar beast alpha male mentality, that aggression, cut off flannel, and then controversy over the flannel. We've got dummies watching SmackDown. I'm going to say it right now. We've got morons watching SmackDown. I don't know how many tweets I saw from regular fans, other podcast hosts, journalists, wrestlers in WWE. Oh, look at Brock in his overalls. Oh, Brock's wearing overalls this, overalls that. Morons, because Brock was not wearing overalls. Brock was not wearing overalls. He was wearing waders. W-A-D-E-R, waders. Those are not overalls. Those are waders for fishing. Let me guys give you a little lesson in the great outdoors. So, you want to go fishing in the river? You wear your waders and rubber boots. You put on your waders, whatever shirt you want to wear under it. Sometimes we didn't. And yes, I've worn waders plenty of times in my life. Sometimes we're like, it's warm out. It's 102 degrees in July. I'm not going to wear a shirt, but I'm going to put on my waders. I'm going to put on my rubber boots. Make sure my waders are tucked in to my rubber boots, because that way you stay dry. You stay drier than a tree in a drought looking for a dog. Go in the river, cast out that line, and boom, catch your fish, and you don't get wet because your waders, not overalls, waders are tucked in to your boots. Trust me, I've had a couple 4 pair of waders in my life. So yeah, all them people on Twitter, other fans, other podcast hosts, other journalists, the wrestlers themselves out here going, look at Brock and his overalls. Incorrect. He is not wearing overalls, you morons. He was wearing waders. 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 Those were not overalls. Waders. Chase Douglas says, Tim, have you ever gone fishing? Have I ever gone fishing? Have I ever gone fishing? Bro, I grew up fishing all the time. We had a creek in our backyard that I can cast my fishing pole from my freaking patio. We go to my uncle's house on the lake, casting from his patio right out into the lake. Have I ever gone fishing? Kind of question is that, Chase? Have I ever gone fishing? Ride my bike down to the local lake. Once we're done fishing, we jump in the community pool over there right next to it. Have I ever gone fishing? But yeah, all these people on Twitter, Brock and his overalls, overalls this, overalls that. Uneducated city boys. That's what I call them. Uneducation city boys. They're called waiters. D-Louise says, I'm going to look those up. I'll look them up for you. Look, where is it? Dick's Sporting Goods. Pull them up right here. Bum, 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 bum. There's two different kinds of waders. There's waders that don't have the boots, and there's also waders with the boots built on. But like, trying to find ones that are kind of similar to what Brock was wearing. Here's some frog togs. I mean, they might be kind of similar to the ones Brock had. Let's see. Here's some frog togs. Pull these up right here. These are what Brock was wearing. They're called waders. Waders. Sometimes they have the bottoms built in, sometimes they don't. But you always got to put your rubber boots on over them as well. Sometimes they have the Velcro to connect them. Sometimes they do have the same kind of straps as overalls, but those are waders. And that's what Brock was wearing. Brock was not, I repeat, not wearing overalls. Brock was wearing waders. And if you never grew up in the mountains, you may not know what waders are. If you're not a fisherman, I know, and I'm right. I'm gonna say right now, I'm not saying that I'm a fisherman. We just grew up fishing a lot. Like my brother fishes way more than I do, but we grew up fishing a lot as kids, going out to the lake and the pond and the creek and the river. So, yeah, waders, not overalls. For all those uneducated city boys on Twitter, talk about Brock and his damn overalls. They're not overalls. Collie, no. Collie's over here saying, Brock was wearing Mario clothes. Brock was wearing No, they're not overalls. Those were waders. Trust me. Anyways, Brock comes down to the ring. Big pop from the crowd in Los Angeles. Oh, so now Collie wants to get smart with me. He's going to troll the chat. Well, I could do that. Brock would make his way out. Huge pop from the crowd. Lesnar came into the ring wearing overalls and grabbed a chair. Zayn sat back down with a mic. Lesnar took a mic from Heyman and sat down in the middle of the ring. Lesnar apologized for beating Sammy up last week. Lesnar did a favor by beating up Zayn. Lesnar noted that Zayn said that they're friends. And my question is, shoot question, not wrestling, but shoot question. Do you think Brock Lesnar even knew who Sami Zayn was in real life before last week? There's the question. Did Brock even know in real life, who Sami Zayn was before last week? I don't think so. Anyways. So they're friends now, and he wants to bring him to Saskatchewan to go hunting and fishing. And Sammy goes, oh, well, I'm kind of a vegan, And Lesnar flips his shit. He gets pissed. Like, you're a what? Finally, he's like, okay. I'll go with you. I'll go. Call him two. He's like, we're two Canadian alphas. You need to come hunting and fishing with me. Lesnar and Zayn started to leave. Then Heyman grabbed the mic. Heyman said that he spent too much time at the dispensary. And the edibles must be kicking in. Fans erupted for that line. Heyman couldn't believe what he was watching. He said a few years ago, Lesnar would take Zayn to Suplex City and not Saskatchewan to go moose hunting. Heyman inadvertently pumped up Lesnar. He started doing the reigning, defending, and then Lesnar snapped and beat up everybody. He beat up the two male nurses or doctors or whatever they were. He then turned his attention to Zayn and kicked him out of the wheelchair. Lesnar then gave Zayn he threw the wheelchair out of the ring and took out Zayn at the end of the segment. Michael Cole and Pat McAfee discussed tonight's main event between the New Day, the Usos, and RK Bro. They pushed that it's to determine the, quote, best tag team in WWE. So in the back, Kayla Braxton interviews Brock Lesnar. She's like, Brock, what are you doing here? Why were you in the ring tonight? Why were you here? He goes, that's a good question, Kayla. And you should ask my advocate, Paul Heyman, why I'm here. And Kayla gets this look on her face as Brock walks off. She's like, oh, I will. Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs took on Los Lotharios in a match that was less than 90 seconds. You heard me, less than 90 seconds. So, didn't have a good match because they didn't do anything in this match. Boogs had the early advantage and ran wild on Humberto and Angel. He then gave Angel a press slam on the floor, but struggled to get him up. Boogs then spun around Humberto and slammed him down. Nakamura tagged in. Kinshasa on Humberto. 1, 2, 3. Picked up the victory. Next up, we had King Woods and his crowning moment of his new crown. This freaking thing was god-awful. This crown was god-awful. And I'm over Kofi and Woods doing the whole British accents because they're the king and his Sir Kofi or whatever you want to call him. I'm over it. I'm already over this English accent stuff. It's dumb. Super dumb. This was dumb. Leo unveils he's got a new crown. He goes and puts it on his head and he's like, huzzah! And everyone's staring at him. He's like, huzzah? Huzzah? Huzzah! And I'm like, oh no! You're dumb! I really like Woods and Kofi, but this was stupid. This was dumb. This was no bueno. So we recapped Drew McIntyre not participating in the Black Friday Battle Royal. In the back, McIntyre approached Adam Pearce with his sword. Pearce noted that a higher authority decided McIntyre should not be in the Battle Royal. The higher authority also decided that McIntyre couldn't take Angela to the ring with him anymore. McIntyre then put the sword through Pearce's desk. Sasha Banks then approached Toni Storm and tell me this wasn't awkward. Tell me Sasha Banks trying to hype up a baby face is not awkward. She's over here, Tony, I know you got your match tonight with Charlotte Flair, but you got to watch out for her. You're an accomplished professional wrestler or superstar, she said. You're accomplished. You've done this and this. And girl, you just got to watch Charlotte because she gets scared when other people start to have some success. She thinks they're going to take the spot from her and this and that. And you just got to watch your back. But you got this, girl. You're Toni Storm. It's Tony time. Come on. And I'm like, this is the most awkward thing. Sasha trying to be a babyface, hyping up another babyface. It's so awkward. She is a natural heel and should always be a heel. And if she's not, she shouldn't be hyping up another babyface. Like if you want Sasha to be a babyface, okay, cool. But she don't need to be over here playing freaking, I don't know. But it's just like, what the hell? This was no. Next up, we had Drew McIntyre against Sheamus in a 7.5-minute match. The crowd showed Cesaro. They showed Cesaro. I don't know why I said crowd. They showed Cesaro watching in the back and mentioned Ridge Holland as well, but didn't show him that I noticed. Sheamus and McIntyre traded forearm shots to start off the match. Sheamus briefly took over, but he beat McIntyre on the chest until McIntyre countered. Sheamus recovered, rocked McIntyre with some forearm shots, and tossed him to the floor. Sheamus missed a dive off the apron, but rolled through. McIntyre then caught Sheamus with a belly-to-belly suplex. Back from the break, Sheamus caught McIntyre with the Irish Curse backbreaker for a close near fall. Sheamus went for the white noise, but McIntyre slipped out and rocked Sheamus with a chop. Sheamus at one point went for the bro kick, but McIntyre rolled him up and got a near fall off of it. Sheamus regained control and threw McIntyre into the corner. McIntyre bounced out of the corner and hit the Claymore to pick up the victory over Sheamus. Then all of a sudden in the back, Happy Corbin and Madcap Moss had stolen Adam Pearce's desk. I don't know how the frick that happens with the sword inside. Pat McAfee goes, looks like we got ourselves a pair of sticky bandits here, Cole. Michael Cole and Pat McAfee discussed Jack Lanza's passing, and then they aired a touching tribute to the former WWF Tag Team Champion. Heyman's in the back when, well, what happens? He's approached by Kayla. Startled, not scared. Braxton noted that Lesnar implied that you're his advocate, and you're the reason he's here tonight. And Heyman again answered with a question. Did not deny it. He did not deny. He's never said, no, I'm not. He's always just like, am I really? I'm what? I'm this, I'm Honda, what? What, Kayla, what, Roman, this and that. He's never said, no, I'm not. No, I'm not friends with Roman or Brock. No, I'm not Brock's advocate still. So, I don't know. Braxton then said, I wonder what Roman Reigns would think of what Brock Lesnar said earlier. Heyman was furious and told her, stop this. Next up, we had Naomi versus, well, it was supposed to be Sonya Deville, but we all knew this match wasn't actually going to happen. So they didn't even end up having a match. Sonya grabs the mic. She goes, whoa, before you get upset, we will have this match, but I got to announce a couple of things. Special guest ring announcer, Natalya. Special guest timekeeper, Shayna Baszler. Naomi immediately goes and attacks Shayna. Then all hell breaks loose. The three of them surround former SmackDown Women's Champion before the Protector came out to protect, and that was Xia Li. Xia Li would run down. Well, actually, she didn't run down at first. She came out, and they made it look like lightning was all circling around her and flashing out of her eyes, and Pat McAfee was having just a balls tripping acid reaction right here. He's like, look at all that lightning, Cole. She's shooting lightning right out of her eyes. And I'm like, you had them same edibles as, yeah, we all see it, but you flipping out like Heyman earlier when saying that he had edibles. Like, what are they trying to do? Make Xia Li Raiden? Anyway, Xia Li, we get a cool, I guess, entrance. It's going to get old quick. Get a cool little entrance here. Run down to the ring, and her and Naomi dispatch of the heels. So, yeah. But remember the last person that befriended Naomi? What happened? They got pulled out of Survivor Series. So I see Xia Li now getting screwed over by Sonya Deville. Then in the back, we had Johnny Knoxville and the cast of Jackass Forever with Randy Orton and Riddle. Riddle was all happy to see them. Orton, not as much. He talked about some special things and whatnot. And Knoxville's like, I got a move for you. How about this? I forget what he called it, but he like turned his guy around, grabbed him by the balls, and flipped him. He's like, hey, that's a cool one. So, yeah. They then announced that the Migos, I don't know who the Migos are. Migos as in like friends, like amigos. It was written Migos on the screen, so I assume it's Migos. I thought they said amigos, but it's Migos, I guess. They're going to be appearing at day one. Okay, I don't know who these guys are. Again, I heard amigos, but then on the screen it said Migos. Migos? Migos? I don't know. Next up, we had a 3-minute match. It was Toni Storm versus the SmackDown Women's Champion Charlotte Flair in a championship contenders match that ended in a DQ. Flair had the early advantage, but Storm took control quickly. Excuse me. She caught Flair with a crossbody for a 2 count. The fans then broke into a brief "Let's Go Tony" chant. Flair fought back and went for the moonsault off the top rope, but Storm moved out of the way. Flair landed on her feet and hit a standing moonsault. Then, in a funny moment, Storm rolled onto her stomach to avoid the moonsault, but Flair instinctively went for the pin with Toni on her belly. Yup. I'm not stuttering. Storm then fired up and rolled up Flair for a near fall. She then used a small package for another near fall. Flair snapped and began beating down a Storm in the corner. Flair wouldn't stop. Just beating her on the corner on the apron and just beating her. Finally, the ref calls for the DQ and they say, "And your winner, Toni Storm." And I go, oh, well, she's going to get a title match now because it was a contenders match. If you win, you get a title match. Well, they've already said DQs count as a win in this kind of thing because remember Kevin Owens? He got beat up in a match against Bobby Lashley. No, Big E. And they still said, well, because he won by DQ, he gets a title shot. Well, I think because Toni Storm won by DQ, she's going to face Charlotte at day one. That's what I see. I could be wrong, but she's going to face Charlotte at day one, I think. All because she won by DQ. She won by DQ. They're in LA, so they showed, well, a bunch of people from LA, like Reggie Bush, Maria Menounos, X-Pac, and the cast of Jackass Forever sitting ringside. Usos then walked out with about 40 minutes left in the show for the main event match. In the back, Brock Lesnar approached Adam Pearce. Lesnar thanked Pearce for the suspension because, well, it gave him time to do one of his favorite things in the world, moose hunting. He noted that the money went to charity. And Lesnar said that the suspension again gave him time to go moose hunting. He's like, hold on, I got a picture of the moose I caught. He pulls out this flip phone. He goes like this. He's like, I can't get this damn thing to work. Breaks the phone, throws it on the floor. I'll just tell you about this moose. Who's talking about this moose? He says it's a nice moose. He grilled it up, put the head on his wall. And the moose, well, he wouldn't have been able to catch that moose if he didn't have any time off. So he named the moose Pierce because it reminded him of Adam Pearce, who gave him time off. And I go, well, Brock, you always have time off. I'm shocked. So, anyways, he kind of bullies Adam Pearce here, and nothing really comes of it. But I'm shocked. They said next week, Chicago. Now, next week's show in Chicago is the final live SmackDown of the year. They're actually filming 2 episodes next week. They said Brock will be in Chicago. I'm flabbergasted. Slap my mama, I never seen this. Brock working 3 weeks in a row? When's the last time Brock worked 3 weeks in a row? I can't remember. I really can't. D'Lo, we know SmackDown was not at the Staples Center last week in the great Los Angeles, California. That was tonight. And this is the last night that they'll ever be technically at the Staples Center. Because starting on Christmas, December 25th, it will no longer be called the Staples Center. They already pulled the name off the building. It will no longer be called the Staples Center. It will be the Crypto.com Arena. They paid $700 million to have that name on the building for the next 20 years. And that's kind of a sad day for us Californians. For California people that grew up with the Staples Center since 1999. Staples Center is our Madison Square Garden here in California and on the West Coast. So just think if you go, oh, I'm going to go see Eric Clapton at MSG. And then you show up and it doesn't say Madison Square Garden anymore. It says like, I don't know, the Modelo Arena. You go, whoa, what happened here? No, bueno. Same thing. Like, it hurts a little that it's no longer the Staples Center. For us from California, someone that spent a lot of time growing up in LA, like I didn't live in LA, I was born in LA, moved up to Central California, near Yosemite, in 3rd grade. But all my family's in LA, so we went multiple times a year to visit. Been to many different types of events at the Staples Center. It's a sad day that it's no longer the Staples Center. Again, like I said, as long as I can remember, since 1999, it's been the Staples Center. Going forward, the Usos noted they're not worried about RK Bro or the New Day tonight, and they promised to win and retain the titles of day one. Melvin Benton says, why are they changing the name of the Staples Center? Well, because Staples, their contract is coming up as far as their naming rights go. And when your contract comes up, you negotiate. And Crypto.com offered more money for their name to get put on the building. That's what happened. Plain and simple. Contract came up. There was a 20-year deal with Staples. That deal came up. I think it was like a 20-something year deal. I don't know exactly. But deal came up. Crypto.com said, we'll give you this much money. Staples, I guess, couldn't match it or break it. And they said, okay, we're going to be the Crypto.com arena now for, I want to say, 20 years. I think it's a 20-year deal from what I read. It's either 20 or 25 years. Going forward, the New Day made their way down to the ring for the main event. Cole then revealed the fan voting on Twitter on who they thought the best tag team in WWE were, and RK Bro won the fan voting. RK Bro then made their way out to the ring. New Day danced to their little original Bro RKO theme mashup. And this is a really fun match. Early on, Michael Cole noted that Sonya Deville and Adam Pearce invited RK Bro here tonight as like a one-off because they wanted to see who the best tag team was. New Day had the early advantage as they isolated Riddle on their side of the ring. Riddle and Woods traded stiff forearm shots until Jay made the blind tag. Usos jumped in the ring and beat down the 4 baby faces. Ooh. They sent the New Day and RK Bro to the floor and hit double suicide dives. Back from commercial break, Kingston hit a crossbody on Jay for a near fall. Riddle made the blind tag and scored a near fall as well. Fans then broke out into a brief "We Want Randy" chant, and they waited to get Randy into this match because the crowd they were stirring. They were like, "We want Randy, we want Randy," and Randy Orton was playing up to it. He's like, "Yeah, come on, tag me, Riddle, come on." He's like, "Oh, he's going crazy on the apron. He's hyping it all up and everything." He's like, "Yeah, I want in this match. I want in this match." And the Usos dragged Riddle to their corner. Orton jumped into the ring, but the ref pushed him out because he wasn't the legal man. Jimmy took advantage and slammed Riddle into the ring post. Fans broke out into a Bro and Randy chant. Like, bro, Randy, Randy, Randy. Jay slowed down the pace with a chin lock on Riddle. Riddle tried to tag Randy Orton, but Jay pulled him off the apron. Jay would then miss a splash in the corner. Riddle went to make the tag, and Jay cut him off. Riddle fought back and went for the tag again, but Jimmy pulled Orton off the apron. Fans erupted in heavy boos here as Orton was being prevented from getting into the ring. They were dying for the Viper. Jay went for the pin, but the New Day broke it up and made the save. Back from a commercial break, Riddle fought back against the Usos and went for the tag. Kingston tagged in, jumped off Riddle's back, and knocked Orton off the apron. New Day isolated Riddle yet again. Fans broke into a loud "We Want Randy" chant. Like the second or third time in this match. Riddle and Woods traded chops in the middle of the ring. Riddle fought back and rocked Woods with a knee. He followed this up with a Pele kick on Kingston. Orton got the hot tag and ran a wild on the Usos. He avoided a drop kick from Woods and gave him a back suplex on the announce table. Orton then gave Kingston a back suplex on the announce table as well. Orton then moves to Jey Uso. Again with the draping DDT, Jay recovered and went for the splash, but Orton avoided and Jay rolled through. Woods made the blind tag. Orton hit the RKO on Jimmy. Jay then rocked Orton with a super kick. New Day took over. Backbreaker foot stomp combo. Jay gets pinned. 1, 2, 3. Usos get pinned. New Day win the match. The New Day heading into day one in just 3 weeks from tomorrow. Going with some momentum. They also noted Allstate Arena next week in Chicago. Roman will return, and Brock Lesnar will roll out the welcome wagon. With that, guys, that was Friday Night Smackdown. That was an all right show. Nothing was bad on the show except for, well, maybe that woman's segment. Well, actually, both women's segments, kind of. Like, the Xia Li debut was all right. The Charlotte Flair Toni Storm match, what kind of fucking finish was that? I don't know. But regardless, I thought the show itself wasn't bad. If you haven't watched it, hey, if you need something to watch tonight, go watch SmackDown. It's a watchable show. I'll say that for sure. But with that, you know what I thought of SmackDown. Now it's time to hear what you guys thought of SmackDown. Remember, you can put your questions, comments, and concerns in the YouTube chat with a super chat donation or text into 510-906-1341. Before we get into that, we got some polls to check out as far as the Twitter. Which poll? 50% of you thought the show was all right. 50% of you liked the show. We check the Twitter poll here. If I can find it. Here we go. 40% of you thought the show was just all right. 36% liked the show, and 24% did not like it. As far as the YouTube poll, 62% liked tonight's SmackDown, 29% thought it was just all right, and 9% did not like it. Let's check the text messages here. It says, who do you see taking the Universal title off of Roman Reigns at next year's WrestleMania? No one. No one. If Roman loses the belt at all, here's my prediction. Brock wins the title at day one. Roman wins the Rumble. Roman then beats Brock for the title at Mania. Umber says, is Brock trying to drive a wedge between Paul Heyman and Roman? Where the hell have you been? Have you not been watching this show for the last month or two? Of course he's trying to drive a wedge between Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns. It's been that's been his MO since he came back. Since SummerSlam. Says, you see Liv going back to NXT like Mandy to beat Mandy for the NXT Women's Championship? No. Says, who do you think fell... Wait, what? Who do you think fell in for Johnny Gargano and Kyle O'Reilly when they leave for now? I have no clue what that even means. Fell in? Huh? I have no clue what that means. Mr. says, do you think Austin Theory can win the Rumble? I think Braun Breaker would win the Rumble before Austin Theory. I'll say right now, I think Braun Breaker would win the Rumble before Austin Theory. No, I don't think Austin Theory would win the Rumble. But with that, guys, I want to say thank you for joining me here. Twitch.tv/PWUnlimited, YouTube.com/PW, Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and Twitter.com/PWUnlimited. Let's see. Tomorrow is... We might be live tomorrow for ROH Final Battle. I'm not 100% sure if I can watch it live. I do have a family event with my kids. They're actually doing a fun run for Christmas, a Christmas fun run tomorrow. So I don't know if I will be home in time to watch the pay-per-view live or not. So I don't know if I'm going to be doing a live review of ROH Final Battle. I would like to, since it's the final big ROH show before they change the company mantra, the word is mantra. But I will keep you guys posted on social media. If I don't post anything about it, that means I'm not going live. But I will post if I am going to go live. Talk about Final Battle. But I'm not guaranteeing it because I do have an event to go to for the kids tomorrow. They're doing a fun run for Christmas. But also, I think that's the only event this weekend. I mean, there's big UFC tomorrow, but that's we don't cover UFC. But with that, guys, we'll be back on Monday morning for the wrestling wrap up, Monday evening for Monday Night Raw. So with that, guys, have a great night, and I'll see you next time.